Hey there, good evening, good evening. This is Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. Got my new favorite shirt on, my long sleeve Black Alumni Summit. It's just in time for this cold weather we're having here. How are you tonight? Welcome to Write It Out Wednesday. This is the day that we come and put you back at the top of your writing list. And for those that don't know me, I'm a writer, editor, author, book coach, consultant, publisher. I think to date we have about 37 books we published in the last 5 months or so. We've got a few more in the hopper right now, a few coming out before the holidays are over, and a few right along the edge of that, and just who knows what else. So much stuff is going on. And actually, I just wanted to tell you, we're at the holiday season. Thanksgiving is next week, y'all, and I'm cooking. I'm hosting. Hey, B Sweets, are you cooking? Are you hosting next week? Well, I am, and I'm trying to get some stuff together. I've got people coming. Some's going to be staying here at my house. So I got to get some stuff together, y'all. So anyway, we've got some good things coming up. We've got some Black Friday specials for those of you who have been writing your book and you have a manuscript. We're going to be putting our editing and publishing package out there for those who just need that you have your written book, but you need that help. You need that editing. You need that layout, cover design, all the stuff that you just don't want to do. Well, we're going to do a Black Friday special for that. If you get it in, we need to get it in before Black Friday ends. And then like Risley, hey, how you doing, girl? So we need to get that in so that you can get your books done this year or very soon in 2023. We want you to get finished. It's like, I know sometimes we write those stories and they're just sitting there waiting for it to be done, but I want you to finish. And we also got some swag, some author swag and bags happening too. So we put together something, and I was just going through counting up names, and I said, you know what? I'm liking a nice tote bag. I'm liking a nice something that we can carry so we can showcase some of these. So you're going to see that real soon. We're going to be posting on that. You'll be able to get a nice tote bag to carry all your books, all your swag, all your stuff. And so we'll be having those out real soon. But tonight I wanted to talk about, I was reading something earlier and through the week, but it's one of those things that always kind of stays on my mind. And it's, before we start writing it out, I think we should deal with what we think, believe, and speak, especially to ourselves. Because the thing that always hems us up, stops anyone in their tracks when they're trying to reach a goal, is those thoughts. It's what you believe and it's what you say. And so especially as we get to the end of the year and think about what we've already done, what's left undone, and what we want to get done next year, it's important to check some of our habits and whether we are aiding or hindering our ability to move forward. Are we helping or are we hindering our ability to make progress in our goals, in our books, in our lives? And so let's just deal with that, okay? And it's one of those things that it's always kind of on the surface or under the surface. And so, but sometimes we forget it's there. So one of the things I want to talk to you about tonight is, what are you thinking? What are the thoughts? Because especially now, there's so much that goes on. We just finished an election and we still have a runoff coming in a few weeks. And it's like the energy around that and all the angst, even for some people, let alone holidays and all the other stuff. We're still in pandemic world, so a lot of that can be on your mind. So what are you thinking? What are the thoughts that are constantly in your mind? What are you allowing even to stay there, even to sit there in your mind? So what are you thinking about? Because often what you think about, and particularly what you think about constantly, what is constantly on your mind is going to do the next thing, which is going to have you believe it. Because you know that the more you listen to something, the more you hear something, the more you think about something, the more you believe it's true. That's why advertisements work. That's why repeating, that's why meditation works. That's why scripture works. That's why, mantras work, because if you say it over and over and over again, it becomes embedded in your mind, almost like a groove. And so it's just like if you learn a song, a dance or something, it becomes something you believe and know to be true, at least for you. Whether it's true, absolutely, it's another thing. But the more you say something, the more you think about something, the more you rehearse it in your mind, the more you believe it, which leads us to the third thing, then what is coming out of your mouth? Because if you're thinking it, Number one, if you're believing it, number two, you're going to eventually say it out of your mouth. You know how some people say, "Ooh, they said the quiet things out loud." The things that you think, you said it out loud because it's going to come out. Even the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the things that you're thinking about and believing is coming out of your mouth eventually. So don't be surprised when you hear people say things, because that's what they've been thinking. That's what they've been believing. And as a result, that's what they're going to say. So what about you? I know that in this world we live in, that we often are bombarded rather with things that are unfortunate, things that are bad, and things that are terrible and evil, but we must be mindful not to succumb to the downward direction that these things can cause in our thoughts and our belief systems and in what we say out of our mouths. Because we, meaning all of us, in our lives, it's going to affect our lives. It's going to affect our success. It's going to affect our health. It's going to affect our relationships. And it's definitely going to affect our writing, because that's where all those other things get in the way. Writer's block, it's because of what you're thinking. You're not thinking about writing your book. You're thinking about all the other things that are going on in your life. And they will definitely, when you think about these things, think about, believe it, and then speak it, especially when it's not good, then that's the direction that you're going to go. You're going to go in the direction of how you think, of how you believe, and how you speak. So how do we combat it? Because I don't like to leave you with, oh man, that's like serious business here. Because, and I find that in my work as a book coach, that when I talk to people, that you're going to deal with a lot of issues. Because people are going through, but there's also such incredible stories that people have to share. I'm always amazed that I'm allowed in to hear some of these amazing stories, funny stories, crazy stories, but just, we live incredible lives, and finding those gems in the stories, finding the hope, finding the perseverance, finding the incredible overcoming of odds that we all can experience. That's what good stories are made of. And that's my goal, to help you pull those stories out of you, help accelerate the process of getting those stories not only out of your heart, out of your mind, out of your mouth, but onto that printed page. So how do we combat some of this thinking, believing, and speaking bad things or the negative things? First, what we have to do is set our mind on things above. Okay. I watched the Michelle Obama interview with Robin Roberts the other day, and she was talking about how her statement about, when they go low, we go high. But that's a way even to carry yourselves. It's like, even if everyone is rolling in the gutter with all kinds of stuff, you don't have to roll around there with them. You can raise up, you can go higher. You can set even what you think about, what you talk about, what you believe on a higher plane than what you might hear. Because just because someone thought it or believed it or said it doesn't mean it has to be yours. It's sort of like when they said, a bird can fly in your hair, but if it builds a nest, that's on you. You can't prevent it from flying, but you can definitely prevent it from landing and building a nest. And so, because that's what negative thoughts, thinking, beliefs, and speaking can do. It can land in you and create thoughts that stay and build a nest. And we don't want that. So the thing is, set your mind on things above, even in the midst of hard things. Because what we have to do, focus on, is there any good in that? Where is the good? Can you focus on what's good? Okay. Number two, and actually that was number two, focus on what is good, even when things are difficult, believe that good can come out of it. Whether you remember a joke someone used to tell, a song that takes you back to a special moment, a movie that makes you cry because of the powerful story. It's like, set your mind on things above. Focus on the good, number two. Okay. Focus on the good, because there's always something you can learn. It may not feel good at the time. It's just like taking medicine because you're sick, or wearing a cast because you broke a limb. It may not feel good in the moment, but it's going to be good for you. So if we can focus on that good part, that it's going to happen. And I know, Be Sweet, you went through your injury, you went through your illness, and it's like, you have to focus on, when I get to the other side of this, when I get here, it's going to be better. And so that's what we really want to focus on. And then the third thing, Speak only about what you want to see happen. Okay? Only say what you want to happen, because when we say the negative things, like, even though we may like, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened. And then we go down that line of all the negative other things that can happen, then we can get stuck there. And I was sharing with even a family member yesterday that, when I was thinking about something else, I caught myself and I was like, you know what? I have to remember, not only is there power in my words, but I have to speak the solution and not the problem. And so that's really the point I want to make today, that we have to speak the solution, not the problem. Because when we speak it, then we can write it, because it's that whole process. It's what we're thinking, becomes what we're believing, becomes what we're saying out of our mouth, becomes then our actions. And the actions that I'm here for those of you who are writing books, is that you get that book done. That you don't allow what you think, like, oh, I'm not a good writer, I'm an editor. Oh, I don't know if I can publish that. I can get it published for you. I haven't gotten started yet. Let's have a conversation and figure it out. It's like, there is a solution to every problem. It's like, and so we have to be solution focused and not problem oriented, because the thing is, sort of like if you've ever worked on a job or somewhere, and if you had a reputation, or someone that had a reputation for always bringing the problems to the manager or the supervisor or whoever, they may have instituted something where it's like, you know what? Next time you come to my office, make sure you bring a solution with whatever else you say to me. Have the solution in mind, because people have enough problems. They don't need you to add, it's like, okay, if something is happening, is there something you can do to correct it? Is there something you can do to solve that? Because even in my work, like, that's what I do. Like, people want to write a book. They want to get their books published. They want to get their stories told. They don't know how. I show them how, or I do it for them. But it's like, it is a solution to a problem. So when we are solution oriented, when we focus on the things that we can do that's good, it just changes the atmosphere. And don't you want to be in a good atmosphere? Because I'm sure we've been in places where my pastor even talked about, have you ever been in a car and nobody's talking to each other? It's just quiet. It's like everybody's thinking about something, but they're not saying a thing, and so you want your atmosphere to be one. And not that silence isn't golden, or it's not a good thing at times, because sometimes you have to learn to enjoy quietness, and solitude. That's something that our country and, culture is not real keen on, but we have to learn to embrace, because you hear many things in quiet. One, you hear your own thoughts. You hear what you're thinking, because if there's always noise around you, you can't even hear, which is why many times we don't know that we're thinking certain things or we're believing certain things, because there's constant noise. But when we do get quiet, when we're allowed to hear what it is we're thinking, what it is we're believing, what it is we're saying, as they say, have you ever heard what you said? Are you listening to the words that are coming out of your mouth? It's like, do you need to change that? And so we want to be solution focused. So as we go into this holiday season, Thanksgiving being next week, but just even the season of Thanksgiving and being grateful, remember, there's always, always, always something that we can be grateful for, that we can be thankful for. And for all my authors and aspiring ones, be thankful for your story. Your story has gotten you to the place you are now. So whether it's been highs and lows and roller coasters and ups and downs, you're still here. It's like you're still persevering. You're still moving forward. There's still hope. There's still life. And so that means there's still a light in you that says to keep going. One of my authors, her book is coming out soon. It's called Facing Forward. And it's like, she has such a positive outlook on life. And it's just like, and we have to do that too. We have to take that and face forward. We have to move forward in the things that we want to see. So, because it's your story, as I say, that's worth telling, it's worth publishing, it's worth sharing with the world. And so tonight on Write It Out, we are dealing with what we're thinking, what we're believing, and what we're speaking, so that when all three of those things are in line, then what we write will be the exact story that people need to hear. So that's all I have for you tonight. I'm Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. And if you have a story to tell, there is a link put down below. Thank you. It's bit.ly/get started on your book. And you can get started tonight. You can get started real soon and we can move you forward. In fact, we can help you get to publish if you already have that story. You just need some editing and you need a few other things and we'll get you published real soon. All right. So I'll see you next time. Happy holidays. Bye.